Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. In this video I will show you how to install Deepin Linux dual boot with macOS High Sierra on a 2010 Macbook. Deepin Linux is one of the most popular Chinese Linux distributions and is based on Debian. Deepin is based on Debian and both distributions have a lot in common. Both distributions use the same software repositories. So if you are familiar with Debian or Ubuntu, you will be able to easily use Deepin Linux. To install Deepin Linux without any problems, follow the steps I used in this video. So let's start this tutorial. The first step is to download the Deepin ISO. For that, open your favorite browser. Then go to google.com and type Deepin in the Google search bar. On the search results page, click the Deepin Linux operating system link. To download Deepin ISO, click Download menu. To download Deepin ISO, several download methods are provided. As you can see, you can download via deepin.com, Google Drive, Baidu Cloud, or via BitTorrent. Since the fastest connection in my location is via Google Drive, I chose to download the Deepin ISO via Google Drive. To download Deepin ISO, double-click on the Deepin ISO file. Then click the download menu in the pop-up window that show up. Then click the Download Anyway menu. Then click the Allow menu. Now the Deepin Linux ISO download process is in progress. Wait until the download process is complete. Now the Deepin Linux ISO download process is complete. The second step is to download Balena Etcher. Open a new tab in the browser. Then go to google.com. In the Google search bar type Balena Etcher. On the search results page, click the Balena Etcher link. To download Balena Etcher, click the Download Etcher menu. Then download Etcher for macOS x64. Then click the Allow menu. Wait until the download process is complete. Once the download process is complete, click the Show in Finder icon. Then drag Deepin ISO and Balena Etcher to the desktop. Now mount Balena Etcher. In the Balena Etcher window that show up, drag Balena Etcher to Applications. Once finished, copy Balena Etcher to Applications, then close the Balena Etcher window. Insert the USB flash drive into the MacBook's USB port. And the USB flash drive mount point will show up on the desktop. Now open Disk Utility. To display the disks in detail, click View at the top left, then Show All Devices. To format USB flash drive, click on USB flash drive in the left pane. And click Erase in the right pane. In the name column, leave the default. In the format column, select MS-DOS FAT. And in the scheme column, select Master Boot Record, then click the Erase button. Once the formatting process is complete, click the Done button. Then close the Disk Utility window. The fifth step is to create a bootable Deepin USB flash drive. To do that, open Balena Etcher. In the pop-up window that show up, click the Open button. Once the Linux main window opens, click Flash from File. Then select the Deepin ISO that was downloaded earlier. Then click the Open button. Now click Select Target. Select the USB flash drive. Then click the Select button. Now click on Flash button. In the pop-up window that show up, enter your Mac admin password. Then click the OK button. The process of flashing Deepin ISO to a USB flash disk is in progress, and wait until the process is complete. The process of flashing Deepin ISO to USB flash drive is complete. Then close the Linux window. The sixth step is to create a partition for Deepin Linux. To do that, open Disk Utility. Once Disk Utility opens, click on the disk in the left pane. Then click the Partition button in the right pane. In the pop-up window that show up, click the Partition button. Now click the plus button below the circle. In the size column, type 50. So the partition allocation for Deepin Linux is 50 GB. For format, just leave it as APFS. And in the name column, type Deepin, or any other name that suits you. Then click the Apply button. In the pop-up window that show up, click the Partition button. In the next pop-up window, click the Continue button. Wait until the disk partition process is complete. The disk partition process is complete, then click the Done button. Then close the Disk Utility window. Now restart Macbook to boot Deepin bootable USB. Once the screen turns gray, press and hold the Option key until the boot options show up. Now select the Deepin bootable USB which show up as EFI. In the Grub bootloader menu, select Install Deepin 20.9 with kernel 5.15 desktop. Here you need to select your language, because Deepin's default language is Chinese. So here I choose to use English. To continue the installation process, click the checkbox I have read and agree to the end user license agreement and privacy policy. Then click the Next button. Here, because I will be installing Deepin alongside macOS and have allocated a partition for Deepin, so I click on the Advanced section. Here select the third partition that was created previously. Click the small icon on the far right and then the edit window will show up. For file system, select ext4 from the drop-down menu. And for mount point, select root from the drop-down menu. Then click the Confirm button. As you can see on the third partition, there is now an additional title install here. Then click the Next button. As you can see, the installation cannot continue because there is no swap partition. Then click the OK button. Now click on Delete button to delete the third partition. Then click the small icon on the far right. As you can see, the third partition is now deleted. Then click on Done button. Now click on the free space so that a small icon show up on the right end. Then click the small icon. Next, the Create New Partition window will show up. In File System, select Swap from the drop-down menu. In the size section, type 8196. So the swap partition is 8196 megabytes or 8 gigabytes. Then click the Create button. Repeat the previous steps for the remaining free space. And for mount point, select Root from the drop-down menu. Then click the Create button. Now click on Next button to continue installation. Here you need to check Install NVIDIA Closed Source Driver. Then click the Continue button. Click the Continue button again. Now the installation process is in progress, and wait for the process to complete. The installation process has been successful. Then click the Reboot Now button. Now Macbook will boot into Deepin Linux, and wait for the booting process into Deepin Linux to complete. Here click the Next button to perform the next configuration. Here you can select the keyboard layout you are using. Once you have selected the keyboard layout, then click the Next button. Here you can select your time zone. Then click the Next button. Here you can create account like username, computer name, and password. After that, click the Next button. Now the process of applying changes to your system is in progress, and please wait until the process is complete. Here type your password to log into desktop. Then press Enter or click the right arrow button. Okay, this is what the Deepin Linux desktop looks like. Here is a Deepin Linux overview. Now I want to set the default boot to macOS. To do this, the MacBook needs to be restarted into macOS. Once the screen turns gray, press and hold the Option key until the boot options show up. As you can see, there are two boot options: EFI for Deepin Linux and Macintosh HD for macOS. So to boot into macOS, select Macintosh HD. Now that you're signed into macOS, to make the default boot to macOS, open System Preferences. Then go to Startup Disk. Here in the Startup Disk window, click the lock icon in the bottom left corner. Type your Mac admin password and then click the Unlock button. Now select Macintosh HD to make macOS the default boot. Then close the Startup Disk window. Now restart your MacBook again. As you can see now, the default boot is macOS. Now restart your MacBook again. This time it will boot into Deepin Linux. Once the screen turns gray, press and hold the Option key until the boot options show up. To boot into Deepin Linux, select EFI, then press Enter. Now Macbook will boot into Deepin Linux. To log into Deepin, type your Deepin account password and press Enter. So that's how to dual boot macOS with Deepin Linux on Macbook 2010. This method can also be used for Macbook Pro 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video.